Turning now to Florida, where activists and allies of the LGBTQ community are protesting against what opponents are calling the Don't Say Gay bill. State legislators passed the legislation, which doesn't mention the word gay, last week, but it has not yet been signed into law. The bill has caused controversy and sparked criticism of Disney's CEO for his response, or lack thereof, to the bill. Employees are now planning a series of walkouts and protests. Jim Defede joins me now for more. He's an investigative reporter for our Miami affiliate, WFOR, CBS Miami. Jim, great to see you. Always a great excuse to talk to you when we have to talk about Florida. Disney, obviously one of the Sunshine State's largest employers. How did they end up in the crosshairs of this, and what can you tell us about these planned walkouts?
Well, I think you've identified it. This was really self-inflicted on Disney's part, the CEO's mishandling of his initial statements. I think it took him 3 or 4 times before he finally came out against the bill in Tallahassee. By then, it had already angered employees who, Disney is known as a fairly gay-friendly place to work in the state of Florida. They offer benefits and the rest. And as the more the employees learned about it, they ended up also discovering that Disney had been a major contributor, not just to Ron DeSantis, but to the bill's sponsors in previous legislative cycles. So the walkouts have been occurring for the last few days and will continue into next week. Right now, they're just sort of like 15-minute protests. People leave their offices or leave where they are and go somewhere to quickly protest and then go back. But next week, they're planning a much larger, full-scale walkout at Disney facilities. So we'll have to see how that handles.
And whether it affects people's access to the happiest place on earth, after all. Yeah. The bill does not, as we said, actually have the word gay in it, but it would prohibit discussions of gender identity and sexual orientation in kindergarten to 3rd grade classrooms. Do you have any sense if discussions of that are actually commonplace in public schools in Florida?
They're not. And so this is one of those bills that was a problem in search or a solution in search of a problem. Right. This was not an issue in Florida schools. And so what you ended up with, though, is because the language in the bill referred to sexual identity and sexual orientation, it was seen as being a direct target against the gay community. That was buttressed by the fact that the chief sponsor of the Senate bill said the reason he sponsored this legislation was in part because he was so uncomfortable with the number of young people coming out as gay, and he wondered what this was all about and what was taking place in the schools. So no, this is not being taught in schools, but this was an issue that the governor was able to tack on because it divides. It creates a nice division, red meat for his base. And let's face it, this bill and his fight with Disney is a pretty good sign of his intention to run for president. Generally speaking, Florida governors do not get into fights with Disney, basically the largest employer in the state of Florida, unless you're appealing to a much larger national audience.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is not only a sign of a governor with potential presidential ambitions and a desire to, buttress the base, but just, a sign of total one-party control of a state that can push through something like this and allow it to get through with little for the opposition to do. And, the bill was passed through the state legislature. But DeSantis hasn't yet signed it into law. He's expressed support for it. Do we know what he's waiting for, what the holdup is?
It's not really a holdup. My understanding is that he's planning an event for sometime next week. As you know, bill signings are an opportunity for anyone, whether it's a governor or a president, to sort of pat themselves on the back and say what a great job they've done in passing this piece of legislation. I expect that they will roll it out sometime next week. I'm sure he'll be surrounded by a lot of children and parents and family members, and it'll be a lovely photo opportunity as he signs it into law and control the news cycle that day.
And probably not on the grounds of Disney, of course. Moving on to another subject in the state, COVID. Florida's Department of Health released new guidelines recently suggesting healthy children don't need a vaccine. Some of our non-Florida viewers may have heard about this because I know it's been dominating the headlines down there. Where did that guidance come from?
Guidance came from the Surgeon General, the state's new Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph Ladapo. It was an appointee by, again, Governor Ron DeSantis. He was sort of picked to be the Surgeon General because of his contrarian views to all things related to COVID. He has basically said that masks never worked. He came right out and said that masks never saved any lives during the COVID crisis. He's He's always stressed after, he doesn't really stress getting the shot, but more about dealing with people after they get COVID. So, this guidance that he put out from the state of Florida is in direct, contrary to what the CDC has said. And that's standard here. In Florida, the governor and the new Surgeon General like to take positions opposing what the CDC recommends.
Well, Jim Defede, investigative reporter with our affiliate WFOR in Miami. When Jim Defede calls the powerful and influential in South Florida, they quake in their boots. And that's because he's a good reporter and he's been at it a while. We thank you for taking some time.
Anytime, Ed.